here we go, kids. We are going to go over the lesson 4.3, solving addition and subtraction equations, okay? And the information is going to be found in your math book, okay? And a couple things I want to emphasize with you, that when you're doing this, okay, the big takeaway is being able to use inverse operations, okay? That's the big thing, okay? I want you to be sure to know that you are using inverse operations for solving addition and subtraction equations. That means you're going to isolate the what? You're going to isolate the variable, okay? You want to get the variable alone, okay? You're finding that that's how you solve the equation. And you want to use the properties of, what do we call it? The properties of equality, right? The properties of equality. Okay? That's what we're using here, okay? So it's really going to feel like a big review. The big difference, though, is you are going to be working with decimals. Okay? So you've got to be accurate in how you use the decimals. We're adding and subtracting, which means you just line them up. Alright? So anyways, the book gives us a little bit of a scenario or a story. And Tom walked M miles on Monday and 5 4/10 miles on Tuesday for a total of 9 2/10 miles on both days. Alright? How many miles did he walk on Monday? Solve the equation M plus 5 4/10 equals 9 2/10 to find the answer. So they give us this diagram right here. Okay? What does the 9 2/10 represent? What does it represent? Chief?
The total number of miles.
Yeah, this is the total number of miles. What does the 5 4/10 represent? That's what, Carter?
How many miles on Tuesday?
Yeah, that's the Tuesday distance. What we don't know is the Monday distance, which is represented by the variable m, okay? This is an addition situation. You have a total, and you have the two add-ins that will get you to the total, okay? It is solved by using the inverse operation of subtraction. So then the book says, okay, here's what you should be thinking in your head. Addition and subtraction have an inverse relationship. Use subtraction to undo addition. Well, this is where you begin to set up your layers. And you need to think, okay, I'm going to keep both sides of the equation equal by doing the same thing on both sides. Okay, because you need to get the variable m alone in order to solve this equation. Okay, so you would subtract the same amount from each side of the equal sign to get m, each side of the equal sign to get m alone. So then they go on and they actually show you how it's set up. Okay, so again, we're pretty familiar with this, right, Laura? Here's our original equation. Notice the layers. We have 3 layers all lined up on the equal sign. We have the original part of our equation, which is m plus 5 4/10, and then we add the subtraction to it because we want to undo what we do with addition. That will give us m by itself on this side. And then of course if we subtract 5 4/10 on that side, we have to do the same over there. And when we do that, we get 3 8/10. Now, here's the thing I want you to keep in mind. When you do the subtraction, make sure you line up your decimal points, okay? Make sure that you line them up, and all you have to do is drop them straight down. So in other words, once you get those decimal points lined up, okay, you can bring it straight down because it is subtraction, and that's how we handle the decimal point. So now to take away 4, we have to borrow from 9, that becomes 8. Regroup, 2 becomes 12. 12 take away 4 is 8. 8 take away 5 is 3. So our answer, the value of m, is 3 8/10. Now, this is the difference between an A student and a B student. A B student will stop right here most often. An A student will do the check. They will actually say, I've got a calculator, it'll take me 2 seconds to put it in there and check it, okay? Or it will take me 2 seconds to take the value of m and substitute it and do the addition. So I take my 3 8/10 and I add it to 5 4/10, and I should get 9 2/10, right? That's what my answer should be. So when I check it, I have 8 plus 4 is 12. Regroup, I can bring down my decimal point. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 5 is 9. It checks. This is an A student. This is the B student. An A student takes it one more step and checks it. Okay, that's the difference. And then when you do subtraction, very important that you do the check step, because subtraction is usually when we make our careless mistakes. Alright? So, they then give you another example of how you can solve subtraction equations, and they give us the equation of y minus 6 2/10 equals 2 9/10. And the first step is then to get the variable by itself by using the inverse operation, okay? So we add the same amount to each side of the equal sign because we want to undo the negative 6 2/10, or we want to undo the subtraction, and we will do that by adding 6 2/10 to both sides. That will get the y by itself, and then of course, if we do the 2 9/10 plus the 6 2/10 on the other side, 9 plus 2 is 11, 11 plus 2 is 3, plus 6 is 9, bring down our decimal point, and that gives us the value of y. And then of course we want to check our work, so we'll use substitution, and the value of y will be substituted for the 9 1/10, and then you actually can do the subtraction again. If you have your calculator handy, you can just real quick bring your calculator up, or my calculator won't come up. Ah, there it is. There's no reason not to check it, because all you have to do is 9 1/10 minus 6 2/10, and it does work out as the solution. Okay? Literally, it took me less than a minute to check it, and that's the difference between a B student and an A student. An A student takes the time to check it. Okay? Alright, now, what we're going to do is I'm going to stop the lesson right there for a moment, and I'm going to shut down the QuickTime.